Hi everyone, my name is Paula Nerlich. I am excited to be talking to you today. And today I will share a bit about my journey into DIY material design making, how it brought me to collaborative projects with designers worldwide and client projects. And also I will share a bit about my current research into designing with living organisms. So my background is in textiles, but through a material making workshop, I encountered how to make my own materials from food surplus. And through that, my journey as a material designer began. And I'm currently active as a material designer, as a design researcher. I'm also a PhD candidate at the Hub for Biotechnology in the Built Environment. And I am a co-founder of Circular Home Lab. So to start this talk, I would like to ask a few questions. So how could we as designers support and drive positive impact for change through our activities? And how can we create the building blocks for a more sustainable future on Earth and beyond? So I began my material design journey with Made, a workshop series and competition hosted by Polytech Milan, Elisava in Barcelona, and Studio Matter in London. And there I learned the basic DIY biomaterial making skills and was further inspired to rethink the systems around materials and resources and the material designer in the industry. And these skills, I find, can be adapted by any discipline, and more interdisciplinary projects are becoming more common, in which rethinking of systems, matter, our communities, and resources on our planet and beyond are of more value. Oops. So yeah, let's start with my project that I call Circular Materials. So within my material project, Circular Materials, several materials ranging from bioplastics to solids are in development. And in my research, I explore especially the qualities of transitory materials made with surplus from the food industry, but also in household surplus. And I would look at, for example, firming abilities, flexibilities, tensile strength, and diverse material applications within product design and fashion. And I use these materials in cross-disciplinary collaborations and client projects, and I develop prototypes for exhibitions and on client request. You can currently find my materials on Material District and Material Driven. These are material libraries, such as the Future Materials Bank, which is holding my aquafaber, which you see on the left. And my materials were also on, I think they were currently on display at the Design Museum in London as part of the Waste Age exhibition. So let's quickly talk about my material aquafaber, which is based on the waste resource aquafaber, which is a starchy liquid that you get from preparing chickpeas or other legumes, actually. And I utilize this matter as part of a binder to create this bioplastic that you see to the right. And I'm especially intrigued. So all my making process is very much inspired from what I learned as a textile designer. And what would intrigue me are textures, colors, how the light interacts with the material. And also I was then diving more into other properties of materials, such as the water repellency and flexibility. So with aquafaber and with many of my other materials, these properties can actually be adapted by changing the ingredients. And this material can be shaped flat, but it can also be shaped into a three-dimensional object, which you can see here on the left as cups and to the right as tableware. And within my making, I'm very much inspired by questions that are now well circulated, I would say, which, for example, would be, how long should the lifespan of a single-use only product be? And is a product more sustainable if it has a long lifespan or if it has a short lifespan? So in my research, as I mentioned, I look more towards transitory materials as I see a quality in those. And that doesn't mean that we use them once and then discard of them, but just exploring the qualities of that, rather than having them last 1,000 years, such as fossil fuel-based plastics do. And something that my work revolves around a lot, especially in this material, which I call cocoa, is are the sensory qualities of materials and how they might positively impact our well-being, so health and comfort, through scent, tactility, and sound. Just bear with me. And a material that I find has some intriguing sensory qualities, and I call it qualities, not properties, is cocoa, which is made from 50% of surplus from local chocolate manufacturing in Berlin. And the rest is based on compostable vegan binders. So I find here that the humans mostly have a positive connection to chocolate and the scent of it. And the material carrying this scent forward is quite intriguing when then moving into product design and items that might last for some time when we use them and engage with them. So some possible applications for this material that I'm exploring are wall covers and interior products, but the material is still in development. So this material has also been exhibited as part of the curated space Designing for the Senses by Material Driven at Architect and Work in London, which placed the material in the context of the built environment and sort of looking at future visions of our connection and interaction with sensory, sustainable and healthy materials. Another material that I would like to share about today is cloud foam. And in my material research, I especially love looking at foams, as foams have what I find amazing quality of using less matter, but can produce a large volume in the design process. And I find it always intriguing to test material qualities and envision what they might be used for. So this foam here, for example, might be an interesting alternative for packaging. So let's envision how we might receive products when ordering to our homes. Now, as this material is compostable, that's great, but this is not a service offered in all locations. So with this material in particular, once it touches water, it dissolves. And it is non-toxic. So I'm currently exploring how this how this material turned into packaging could actually be transformed by the consumer at home by adding water and thus dissolving it in water and adding it to the local water system. But elements that need to be researched further is how it might change the pH level of the water. However, I find this, so with all of my materials, rather than trying to bring them to market, I am utilizing them as a tool for communication and changing or exploring different consumer behaviors. So I'll also quickly touch on this project, which again uses foam, and it was co-developed with the material designer Bonnie Willem from Natural Material Studio and spatial designer Rebecca Norberg. And it was turned into, so this foam was turned into an interactive installation where we explored objects made from biomaterials as mediums for generating the sense of being in a forest. And this interactive multisensory installation that we created encompassed a series of objects made from biomaterials, made from leftover conifer tree needles, And with this installation, we aim to create the sense of being in a forest environment through the sensory materials that were emitting the scent of pines. So again, we're continuing this narrative of using the scent of our resource that we're using to be part of the narrative of the material. So let me also share a bit about so this is a bit of a jump, sorry about that, but let me share with you a bit about my current research as a PhD researcher. So as I mentioned, I'm currently researching at the Hub for Biotechnology in the built environment, and I'm part of the Living Textiles Interface group that is led by Dr. Jane Scott. And my PhD project, the materiality of well-being, designing and interacting with living textiles as interfaces to enhance well-being in the built environment, investigates the impact of scent on human well-being within architectural spaces and activated through living, sensory, soft textile structures. And I'm using a multi-species centered approach to utilize design and scientific methods to study how textile fabrication techniques, especially knit, and microbiology can be merged to create living textiles that host scent-emitting microbes and that can actually emit a forest-originated scent or forage-related scent, and that can be perceived by humans. And yeah, within this research, I'm looking to, so I'm mid-research, and I'm looking to find ways to activate and deactivate the emittance of scent to create an interface between the human and the material. So, yes, and this is, again, part of my research, where I would like to just focus on one of my elements of my PhD research. And I would like to highlight this aspect of learning of the other. And this is something that I've continued in my material journey, learning of the other matter, learning of the other organism, and within my Circular Home Lab workshops that I'm co-creating with Vanessa Rosenthal, we're also looking at learning of other human beings within communities. Okay, so, and in addition to my material design research that I've shared with you today and some of my academic design research, I would also like to share other projects that I'm involved in with you, just to give you a holistic viewpoint of my work. So I co-founded Biofutures for Transplanetary Habitats, which is a research group that aims to explore and enable interdisciplinary research on transplanetary habitats and habitats within extreme environments through an emphasis on the biosocial and biotechnological relations. In our growing research network, we explore the topics of multi-species relations and collaboration with the other than human in space and technological infrastructures and design. And these might include relations with the natural and artificial within space habitats. It might also include multi-species narratives and relations to sustain human and other than human life in space and in extreme habitats. I'm also looking at the use of biotechnology and biodesign, like the biomaterials that I shared about, in the built environment to ensure and support safety, sustainability, habitability, reliability and crew efficiency, as well as productivity and comfort, such as well-being, in extreme environments often on Earth. So what if we could design meaningful interactions between humans and the non-human within the everyday space of the built environment, focusing on mutualistic, symbiotic modes of being? And this leads me to the last project that I'm sharing about today, which is Human-Bacteria Interfaces, a project funded by Driving the Human. And it is a collaborative design research endeavour with fellow researchers from the Hub for Biotechnology in the built environment. And it explores pathways to design for microbe-human interaction in more than human coexistence. And with that, I would like to share with you a video.
what if we could design meaningful interactions between humans and the non-human within the everyday space of the built environment, focusing on symbiotic modes of being? What if such symbiotic modes of being could materialize through living interfaces that act as an ambient living intelligence, responding to its human inhabitants and surroundings? Introducing the Human-Bacteria Interfaces concept and the Ambient Living Interface, ALI. Human-bacteria interfaces are tangible, living interfaces consisting of microbial consortia that interact or respond to stimuli from their surroundings by emitting signals accessible to humans through touch, smell, and sight. The ALI interface uses SCOBY, a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, as a medium to facilitate human microbial interaction through external stimuli. The bacteria embedded in the SCOBY will be biotechnologically designed to translate stimuli into signals that are accessible to humans. When ALI detects stimuli in its surroundings, it will respond by activating fluorescent proteins, resulting in an atmospheric glow, making an otherwise invisible interaction visible to the human inhabitant. Embedded in the cellulose structure of bacterial origin, the SCOBY microbial mix forms a jelly-like texture, which provides a large-scale human-bacteria interface for the built environment. The bacteria embedded in the SCOBY matrix can be designed with biotechnology to react to a variety of molecules, such as pollutants, stressors, and stimuli such as heat, allowing for an array of implementations within the context of the built environment. Through the ALI interface, novel symbiotic relations between humans and microbial life are explored. Instead of perpetuating antimicrobial narratives, human nature is examined through its vital entanglements with the non-human microbial world, together transfiguring the metabolic landscapes of the built environment, as futures of eco-social renewal are examined through encounters with the microbial sphere. Join us in our vision of microbial futures.
Thank you so much for watching, for joining me today. You can find out more about my projects on paulanerlich.com. And thank you, and keep exploring new materials.